Rob McElhenney appears to have imploded, sparking endless theories about what might have gone wrong. According to numerous insiders, Rob uncovered what some are calling an evil plan, carefully orchestrated by Ryan and certain close associates. An allegation that has rattled fans who have long admired both comedic powerhouses. The entire matter has shades of the swirling controversies that once defined Amber Heard's public trials, with text messages, legal maneuvers, and shifting narratives all playing pivotal roles in an ever-expanding saga. At the center is Ryan, a figure once celebrated as a charismatic trailblazer, now embroiled in a web of questions about how far he might go to control his image and strengthen his influence behind the scenes. And although this situation is very different from previous Hollywood showdowns, the unfolding drama has left countless observers wondering if the tactics on display echo deeper industry patterns. It all began innocently enough, with Ryan and Rob unveiling joint projects that showcase not only their comedic chemistry, but also their shared passion for bringing new life to underdog enterprises. Their mutual undertakings, often praised for their ingenuity, seemed poised for long-lasting success. From a distance, fans saw two friends channeling their comedic flair into real-world efforts. The synergy was reminiscent of how certain Hollywood partnerships often start strong, a blend of optimism, creative energy, and an eagerness to foster genuine connections. But as the old saying goes, success can reveal hidden fissures. Soon, subtle murmurs arose that Ryan's deep involvement in certain decision-making processes was causing frustration for some of his collaborators. Rob, who had initially been supportive of Ryan's leadership, reportedly began to bristle at what he perceived to be excessive steering from Ryan's camp. Though no one expected these tensions to balloon, small disagreements about resource allocation, strategic direction, and publicity angles steadily gained momentum. Backstage tactics. Tactics meant to tilt negotiations and shape public perception. The rumor, Ryan might not have been the transparent partner he claimed to be. In an effort to salvage his image, Ryan chose a strategy reminiscent of those who faced heightened scrutiny in the aftermath of the Amber Heard controversies. He released a carefully worded statement suggesting that some of the messages were taken out of context, and that the nature of collaborative ventures often involves robust discussions about marketing and brand identity. However, the statement seemed vague. It did little to soothe fans curious about the specifics of his rumored arrangement with media insiders, or the suggestion that he aimed to overshadow Rob's role. Online chatter only intensified, with many demanding a more direct explanation. By this point, lines had been drawn among the fan communities, echoing the fragmentation scenes when controversies involving Heard reached a fever pitch. Some were resolute in their loyalty to Ryan, citing his philanthropic track record, comedic gifts, and years of proven authenticity. Others felt that Rob's disclosures held weight, pointing to the actual text messages where Ryan appeared to plan narratives that placed him at the forefront. The swirling sense of uncertainty was amplified by the possibility that more leaks could surface at any moment, each new tidbit adding fuel to an already blazing fire of speculation. Matters became even more complicated when sources alleged that multiple business associates of Ryan's were stepping back. While not publicly stating reasons, a handful of them were said to be re-evaluating their arrangements. The suggestion that key partners were distancing themselves triggered memories of how some figures in Amber Heard's orbit had become less visible once conflicting accounts emerged, evidently reluctant to be part of a saga with too many unanswered questions. In Ryan's case, the abrupt pause in certain deals was especially notable, since he had always seemed a sure bet in Hollywood, someone who got along with everyone from top-tier directors to staff behind the camera. Meanwhile, Rob continued to speak about the fiasco with an air of disappointment. He described a sincere wish for resolution, emphasizing that this had never been about harming Ryan's career, but rather about preserving integrity in their projects. According to Rob, he only exposed certain details after repeated attempts at private conversations went nowhere. Whether this approach was justified or an overreaction sparked its own debate. Many argued that friendships and professional alliances in show business thrive on mutual transparency, so if any partner feels significantly misled, stepping forward might become the only viable option. As the days wore on, the presence of Blake Lively in this drama grew harder to ignore. Speculation soared as to whether she had played a direct role in shaping Ryan's public relations strategy, including alleged backstage methods. Echoes of the Heard effect once more resonated. Amber Heard's controversies escalated when her personal relationships, both public and private, were pulled into the spotlight. For Blake, the lingering question was how much she knew of Ryan's behind-the-scenes moves and whether she endorsed them, discouraged them, or remained unaware. While a few leaked messages hinted at her involvement, definitive answers stayed elusive. With the frenzy mounting, more production personnel began stepping forward, some from collaborative ventures, others from affiliated endeavors, to share anecdotes that portrayed Ryan's approach as methodical, perhaps even tactical. One individual recounted a conversation where Ryan boasted about the perfect storyline for an upcoming public announcement, framing it in a way that emphasized his role. Another insisted that Ryan's famed humor sometimes masked a business-minded approach that left little room for equal credit. Each fresh disclosure caused a ripple effect, prompting even those who had never doubted Ryan to wonder if they had missed the signs all along. Observers drew parallels to older Hollywood narratives. A charismatic star, once viewed as genuine, is found to be employing intricate strategies to stay on top. The difference, of course, was the involvement of Rob, an established creative figure in his own right, who refused to maintain the usual hush-hush approach that often prevails in the industry. Instead of continuing a quiet partnership, Rob laid everything on the table, both to the media and to fans. The result was a firestorm that few could have predicted, one that seemed to spiral bigger with each new piece of evidence or statement. Inevitably, the press latched onto the phrase, "evil plan," repeating it so frequently that it became the catch-all reference for the entire situation. Ryan's team did their best to downplay the label, claiming that any talk of malicious plotting was hyperbole at best. However, the repeated mention of it online only fed the hype, especially among individuals who were beginning to see Ryan as a case study in celebrity duplicity. It also spawned countless social media debates about how to distinguish normal brand building and PR strategies from ethically questionable behavior. It's pointed out that real friendships in show business often rely on a kind of implicit understanding. Personal and professional lines can blur, but honesty is key. If Ryan had simply been forthcoming about his ambitions and marketing tactics, perhaps no dramatic confrontation would have ensued. That notion left others to wonder if there was a root cause deeper than mere brand management, possibly an unresolved tension dating back to when Ryan and Rob first decided to join forces. By comparing notes with past controversies, especially those like Amber Heard's, industry watchers started theorizing that personal rivalry or unspoken resentment can sometimes amplify relatively small disputes into sprawling spectacles. Amid all this chaos, Ryan himself seemed at a crossroads. Known for quick-witted jokes and a casual public persona, he found it increasingly difficult to diffuse the drama with humor alone. In the face of leaked messages, and with Rob openly discussing feelings of betrayal, witty social media banter no longer sufficed to placate the public's appetite for genuine answers. Some insiders speculated that Ryan faced a critical choice: either produce transparent documentation clarifying his intentions, or face a growing skepticism that could impact future projects. After all, major studios look closely at how negative press might affect a production's success. If the story of a cunning behind-the-scenes plan continued to overshadow Ryan's comedic appeal, it could alter his Hollywood trajectory significantly. Comparisons to the Amber Heard phenomenon were inevitable, not because the situations mirrored each other in every detail, but because of the familiar pattern of revelations upending previously accepted stories. Both sagas illustrated how swiftly a star's image can shift once text messages, private agreements, and contradictory testimonies slip into the public arena. In Heard's case, the revelations led fans to question what they thought they knew about her. With Ryan, a similar reevaluation took place, leaving even his most devoted supporters uncertain about what to believe. The question looming over everyone's heads now is how the dust will settle. Will Ryan and Rob reconcile privately, forging a path back to collaboration through candid apologies and clarifications, or has this confrontation severed their bond beyond repair? Observers point to how messy breakups in the entertainment industry can spawn new partnerships elsewhere, with each party trying to emerge unscathed. Much depends on whether more undisclosed communications come to light, potentially shifting the narrative once again. Fans are clearly watching with bated breath, hoping for an outcome that preserves some element of the comedic magic that Ryan and Rob once brought to the table. In the midst of this, one key figure remains conspicuously quiet: Blake Lively. As Ryan's spouse and a respected performer, she carries her own fan base, and her involvement, however minor or major, could hold critical importance. Some think she might eventually address the situation, especially if more messages link her to Ryan's bigger plan. Others guess she will maintain a strategic distance, allowing Ryan to handle the brunt of the fallout alone. Either scenario could shift public perception in unpredictable ways. It's a testament to how personal relationships and professional reputations intertwine in the spotlight, leaving onlookers to piece together who truly orchestrated what. While certain corners of the internet continue to dismiss the entire situation as overblown, the fact remains that the storyline has taken on a life of its own, becoming a fascination for gossip columnists, fans, and even casual spectators. The magnitude of interest, in part, reflects the trust fans place in celebrities who seem relatable. Ryan's comedic brand rests heavily on his approachable charm. Rob's comedic style feels equally grounded in authenticity. To learn that discord has grown between them, potentially sparked by deeper strategic maneuvers, undermines the carefree spirit audiences have long enjoyed. Hollywood historians may look back on this moment as a compelling example of how swiftly alliances can crumble in the glare of public scrutiny, and how a single discovery of questionable tactics can overshadow years of goodwill. Like the Amber Heard controversies, this situation underscores the fickleness of popular opinion. One day, a celebrity can do no wrong in the eyes of admirers. The next, well-placed revelations can send shockwaves, transforming loyal supporters into conflicted skeptics. All it takes is a handful of eye-opening messages, an unexpected interview, or one bold individual willing to lay bare the secrets once kept behind the scenes. Not immune to the complexities and pitfalls of public partnerships. When trust is broken, or appears to be, the unraveling can be swift and punishing. Whether Ryan intended to overshadow Rob or simply exercise typical Hollywood PR strategy is a question that might never be fully resolved. But for a generation used to witnessing unfiltered celebrity scandals in real time, this moment is yet another vivid lesson. Names as beloved as Ryan Reynolds are still vulnerable to the tidal force of fan opinion once an evil plan narrative takes hold. For now, the entertainment world waits to see if more details emerge, or if cooler heads prevail behind closed doors. Perhaps Ryan can find a path to clear the air, maybe with an unguarded conversation that humanizes the missteps and clarifies the full story. Rob, for his part, appears unwavering in his stance, emphasizing honesty as his driving principle. And the public, for better or worse, remains riveted, acutely aware that each piece of new information could swing the pendulum of perception once again. As some have already noted online, we've seen how these stories can evolve. Just look at Amber Heard. That historical parallel looms large as Ryan tries to regroup, and Rob stands by his decision to disclose the truth. One thing is certain, no matter what happens next, the comedic partnership once hailed as unstoppable has now become an emblem of how quickly a success story can spiral into a cautionary tale.